The first thing I noticed about the village was how quiet it was. Too quiet. No children running. No animals in the street. Not even the usual chatter of old men outside their homes. Just rows of mud houses with broken roofs and a heavy silence pressing on my ears. I was there because my uncle had died, and he left behind an old house on the edge of the village. My father sent me to check on it, maybe even stay for a night. The villagers barely looked at me when I asked for directions. One man muttered, "Don't stay after dark," but when I pressed, he just walked away. The house itself looked like it hadn't been touched in years. The wooden door sagged on its hinges. The windows were covered in grime, and weeds had grown tall around the walls. Inside, the air smelled of dust and damp earth. Old furniture sat where it had been left, covered in sheets, as if waiting for someone who never returned. That night, I lit a lantern and sat in the main room. There was no electricity, just the soft glow of the flame. The silence was thick. Even the crickets outside were quiet. I tried to distract myself with my phone, but the signal was gone. Then I heard it, a soft knock, 3 slow taps on the wooden door. I froze. No one had followed me, and I hadn't seen a soul for hours. I held my breath, waiting, but the sound didn't come again. Telling myself it was the wind, I locked the door and went to bed. At 2 a.m., I woke up. The lantern had gone out, but the moonlight spilled faintly through the window. And there it was again, knock, knock, knock. This time, it was coming from inside the house. I sat up, my heart hammering. The sound came from the back room. I told myself it could be a rat, maybe an animal trapped inside. Gathering courage, I pushed the door open. The room was empty except for an old wooden chest in the corner. Its lid was slightly open. I closed it quickly, dragging a chair on top of it, then returned to bed. I didn't sleep. The next morning, I asked an old woman in the village about the house. She refused to meet my eyes. "Your uncle never left," she whispered. "He died in that house." They found him in front of the chest, his nails broken, as if he was trying to claw his way out of something. Her words sank into me like ice. That night, I thought of leaving, but something held me back. Pride, maybe, or denial. I convinced myself it was all stories. At midnight, I heard the chest creak open. I stayed in bed, too afraid to move, staring at the dark corner of the room. Slowly, something crawled out. The outline of a man hunched, dragging itself across the floor with broken fingers. I could hear nails scratching against the wood, a ragged breath filling the silence. It stopped at the foot of my bed. The air grew heavy, cold enough that my breath turned white. Then, in a low, rasping voice, it whispered, "You shouldn't have stayed." I screamed, bolted from the bed, and ran out of the house into the night. I didn't stop until I reached the main road. The villagers found me at dawn, trembling and pale. When they went back to the house, they said it was empty. No chest, no footprints, nothing. But I know what I saw. I never returned to that village again. And sometimes, when the night is too quiet, I still hear the faint sound of nails scratching at wood, reminding me of the thing that should have stayed in the chest.